Hi, my name is Adam, and today you're going to be joining me for our first installation of Cooking with Cannabis. Today we're going to be infusing cannabis butter inside of saltwater taffy. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of sugar, and we're going to take a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of water, and we're going to end up mixing that together with some infused cannabis, and we're going to make some cannabis taffy. The first thing we'll talk about is making the cannabis butter. So with the cannabis butter, you're going to want some nice fresh buds. You're going to want some butter. And the way you're going to be able to create that is by decarboxylating your cannabis. By decarboxylating your cannabis, you're going to be turning the active terpenes and the tetrahydrocannabinol into activated THC. That activated THC is going to be absorbable and bioavailable in our stomachs. Lion.
Let's go ahead and talk about decarboxylation, lectin, and more of the cannabis reduction.
Okay. After we decarboxylate the cannabis, we're going to go ahead and add in a little bit of sunflower lectin. Sunflower lectin is something that most people don't really know to use with making cannabis edibles. It enhances the effects of THC, as well as it's really good for us and the neuroregeneration. I believe. Do we have the lectin anywhere, Josh?
No, we actually don't.
Put me in holes. Okay. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do when we're making the taffy is we're going to go ahead and add some Karo syrup. We've already made a thing of taffy today. They come in 2-cup increments if you buy them in this manner. So you can just measure out at a cup, and then you don't need a second cup after that to know that you've already used 1 cup initially. You've got a second one there. So we're going to start with pouring in the Karo syrup. And it's going to take a second. Make sure you take that lid all the way off. Alrighty. Once you've got the Karo syrup in, you're going to go ahead and add a couple cups of sugar. And each vessel we have here is a 1/2 cup of sugar. And we're going to go ahead and stir that in. And we're going to add the cornstarch. That'll be 2 tablespoons worth. Citric acid, which is a little bit of a secret of ours, and that'll add a little bit of tang to your taffy. We'll use 3/4 of a cup of water, a tablespoon of salt, and what is just cannabis butter. We're not allowed to use real cannabis butter on set, so we have something a little bit more Play-Doh looking, but it is consumable. It's just a little bit of food coloring. So right now we have what looks to be a little bit of like a primordial ooze. It's like the building blocks of life are being created in front of our eyes. But eventually, it's going to turn into some nice taffy. You got anything else for me, Josh?
swifty with it.
Okay. So Josh, this burner wasn't on. So I'm just mixing some water. It's we need the magic of TV here. We need reduction faster. Okay, so after about 10 or 15 minutes of mixing, this is going to reduce, and we're going to get it to a temperature of about 249 degrees, anywhere between 249 degrees and 255 degrees. 249 will give you a nice soft taffy. At 255 will give you a hard taffy. And we're just going to stir and stir until this starts to bubble. And I can hear it sizzling a little bit. I don't know if you can pick it up on the mic, but we do have heat. It's happening. So you can see the butter slowly breaking out into the mix. And once we hit temperature, things will get thicker. We'll lay it on a pan and let it cool. How much longer do I have, Josh? Trying to think of mixing material. I don't have much.
We're about halfway through. Look at that notepad.
I've hit everything.
Honestly, we can start pulling the taffy while that's sitting, but that's going to take a while to bubble.
You know, it's probably going to take a good 10 minutes to start bubbling.
Go ahead and just start pulling then.
Okay. So, after we finished cooking our taffy and it's reduced, it'll end up looking a little something like this. Josh, how am I supposed to get this out of here? It is legit smelling. I need like a knife, like a spatula with a sharpened tip. There. That's gonna not fit anything.
This might not work.
This is why our show is called Off the Top.
Off the top. This is off the top. Here it is. So this is the beauty. I'm talking to his mic here. This is the beauty of taffy. This is really just a bunch of sugar here. When you start pulling it,
Let me get in here.
you start introducing oxygen into the sugar, and oxygen is good. That's like the most essential thing we have. If you pull it, it keeps getting wider and wider as more bubbles get in there. Oh, look at that. We got much more coming. I guarantee my audio is not picking up well, so I'm really just standing there
This is cardio.
for fun.
This is pure cardio.
Pure cardio, guys. What we're doing here right now is we're working.
Yeah, no, forget P90X.
We got Taffy 90X.
We got Taffy 90X.
All right, and this is how you work Taffy. Here, take this.
In order to work taffy, You gotta have smooth and nimble hands. You can't have rough lumberjack hands. As the taffy begins to get oxygen inside of it, it's going to turn white. After it's turned a little bit more so white than your beginning product, that's pretty much enough proof and enough visualization that you can go ahead and put your taffy down and roll it up and start cutting it to be packaged up.
I have to professionally disagree. Professional candy makers say you pull your taffy until you can't pull your taffy anymore. And that is why every candy maker weighs 300 pounds and is built like a quarterback. A linebacker, I mean. Genuine truth. Every candy maker.
I've got these little forearms.
He's not built for the game. This candy is set. I'm going to stop struggling with this, but believe me, if you were to do this warm, it would come out easier than a Jiffy. Jiffies are considered difficult compared to taking this taffy out.
Jiffies have lube.
Jiffies have lube. Think about that. Now this is what it gets quite a bit more like as it gets kind of finished. You can see, yeah, we're on this guy right here. Pretty transparent, pretty white. That's all oxygen air bubbles. That changes the consistency of the taffy. It also makes it a little bit more like creamy almost. It kind of changes the flavor profile. I washed my hands. I'm gonna try this. Get a little bit of that citric acid up in here.
If I could go ahead and tell you guys a secret, I didn't wash my hands.
God damn it. Well, this tastes great. Even knowing that, you know.
The most important thing is a strong immune system, folks.
Yep.
I go outside and I go ahead and lick foreign objects every single day.
If they're not foreign, they're not the right objects. My doctor told me that. Well, let's see. I'm gonna do something great right here.
We've continued stirring this, and it's beginning to reduce a little bit more and more. Eventually it'll start bubbling, and then we can start measuring it for temperature and make sure it doesn't reach that 250 threshold and turn to hard candy like this that we don't really need.
More facts. Now, like you said, with candy, temperature is not essential, it's quintessential.
It's the quintessence of life.
The quintessence. Now, temperature measures how much humidity, how much consistency is going to be in there. So you get too hot, it's going to be harder. Basically, the last thing we have to do here is wrap them up. So, what we have prepared so vigilantly are some wrappers. Perfect. We got enough time to wrap up 2 of these in the fastest manner possible, which looks like this. Roll, roll, roll your ball, throw it on the paper, throw it over, twist it down.
Paper, paper, paper.
Paper, paper, paper. And what we would like to tell you guys is to enjoy Paul on the guitar. We're gonna have him up very soon. These are cannabis saltwater taffy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, that was choppy as the sea on a September day at 9 p.m. on a
Very choppy day.
very, very choppy. But let me tell you, I appreciate it. Every goddamn one of you listening. Bye.